Oh no. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank goodness. The garage is empty. Right, Justin?
That's right. Look, motor's already out. My RS is already in the driveway.
Yeah, the RS is in the driveway.
It's not a repeat of last weekend.
Woohoo! You're cleaning.
Yeah, I'm trying this new product out, and this is where the transmission tipped over and just poured oil everywhere. So it says it's supposed to get grease and oils out of concrete, so I'm gonna try it out.
So I think in my last video I said that Justin was gonna come down to San Antonio, but we agreed not to do that because...
Well, I got ran off the road and I hit a curb and it messed up the driver's side suspension, so the wheels cambered pretty bad, so I wasn't trying to drive 2.5 hours and then rub the tire raw on one side.
Yeah, it would have been bad. So we both agreed like, nah, I'll come up. And I was like, well, since I'm here, I might as well install a few parts and I'll show you that later. We're gonna go to Harbor Freight real quick to grab some stuff.
Harbor Freight!
What do? It's a new Ranger. Oh,
look at that.
Hey. Let's get up close and personal. Let's get us close and personal here.
It's a new Ranger.
It's a new Ranger.
Oh, sorry, I got my little thing in the way.
Oh, it's a Sport. Is it
Lariat.
Ooh, it's a Lariat. Very nice.
Pretty.
Very nice. Got it at Ford. I thought that was honestly the Ranger right there, but that was a 150.
Oops.
Oopsie.
Oh, she's staring.
Oh, she's staring. Yeah.
She's like, what's that Ford making that noise for?
Nagging parts. Alright, so you heard me talk about we're installing parts. Well, I was talking about that.
You want a fully built motor?
I mean,
why not? Let's tear this thing apart.
Yeah. Let's do it! Just kidding, we're not actually doing that. We actually have a bunch of parts down here in this box of goodness from Mike. I'm gonna link his Instagram down below. I actually bought the stuff from him, as well as a few parts from
Nobody.
Yep. So I'll be installing a few things. I have his Guardian system, as well as some other parts like the ethanol content sensor, which is actually right here. The sensor itself, the gauge, the fuel hoses with the adapter. You will have to purchase the adapter. I'm gonna link that down below to get the adapter for the full-blown Motorsports ethanol content sensor kit. Yeah! This glorious thing, which is covered in bubble wrap. Right. What we're all been waiting for. Another bubble wrap, which is still neatly wrapped. And I have a good bottle of Guinness. Yes. All right. Stabby.
Stab leg.
Oh, dude, if I were to like stab this and like marred the surface, I'd be like, I'd actually cry.
Like, it's not sealing anymore.
It's not sealing! It's leaking everywhere. Ta-da! Aux fuel rail. This is gonna go into the RS, and I do have to get a tune for it. If you are gonna run an aux fuel, I highly suggest you ask your tuner to tune it. It might cost a little extra, but this will help you make more power with pump gas as well as ethanol tunes. Note, when you do have your injector sizes, when you're choosing the injector size, these are 50, I think it is the flow rate.
Yeah.
So if you get the 95s, those are rated for E85. However, be careful, there is a hose that's on there that's not rated for E85 on the RSs. If you run straight E85, it'll practically melt that hose, and that's dangerous next to a motor because it equals fire. So yeah, we're gonna get this on. We're gonna get the ethanol content sensor on, as well as hooking up the Guardian system, which is in there. Let's jump right to it. So we got the 5 bolts holding the intake manifold to the head, but you also have to go get the clamp. That is your hose clamp that we're gonna take off. You can actually reach it and grab it from the top and pull it. That's what.
Nick, did you know you have a blue RS?
Do I have a
A blue RS?
Huh. Never thought of it that way. That's cool. Oh yeah, and you can actually see where it conforms to my regulations of 2017. Ha. Anyway, so we're gonna pull this intake manifold off. I do have the Guardian system already on here. It's already mounted. That was when Justin did his. So we're just gonna route stuff into a grommet, which is on that side, on the left-hand side, or the passenger side, as we're looking at it. Moving on. So Justin's already set on the intake manifold. I'm gonna go help you with the other bolts. Right?
Yep.
Right.
10 mil.
10 mil.
Oh, don't kick your beer over now, Jim.
Oh yeah. I'd be sad. I'd be really sad if I kicked over my beer. I'd probably cry, actually.
If you want to touch my...
Alright, so you saw we got the 5 bolts out. There are various connections that are back there. There is a vacuum line, as well as I think it's like 1 or 2 electric connectors back there. There's also one red clip that's on the back of the throttle body. This is a drive-by-wire system, so the throttle body is electrical rather than cable. So remember to disconnect that cable. I'll show you when the manifold comes off.
Reach up in here, feel out that wire.
And he's got to disconnect it. I can't really show you. It's a tight, cramped space. I don't want to be in his way either, so.
Where you at, Jim?
Hiding.
Hiding, always. All right, so there's the red clip.
Yeah, there's the red clip right there. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Manifold's off. All right, so what I was talking about, there's a vacuum line here. It's just a quick disconnect. Vacuum line here. There is an electrical connector here. You have to push on the tab and then pull it out. What else am I missing? There was a connector here. You can leave them plugged in and then just go get like a pry tool on both sides, one here and one here. Grab it underneath, push up, grab underneath, push up. Be gentle with it or it's gonna break. Other than that, intake manifold's out. We got brake clean, sprayed onto the rag, like so. And we're just gonna clean off the surface, make sure we have no contaminants on there. And then we're gonna start mounting up the rail. The rail does have some hardware already, like the O-rings that go around the ports, and that will go on the aux fuel rail, and yeah, we'll go from there. While I was cleaning off all this, we have some of the hardware that's out and about. We got the wiring loom over there. We got the adapter for the fuel rail, and then Justin has the
gaskets.
Yep, and then we're just gonna attach it to the fuel rail, because the intake manifold one is also there. We just got to put this on there to mate up to the heads over there. So yeah, we're gonna be getting everything ready and installing as much as we can. I do know I have to get a tune for the aux fuel rail, so I'm gonna leave the power unplugged on it and then get a tune for it later. Yeah, we're just going from there. Just gonna install everything. So Justin is working on putting the 4-port aux fuel onto the heads, and as you saw, you're going to be using the Allen keyed supplied hardware. There you go. So the Allen key hardware goes into the recesses of the fuel rail, and that'll hold it on there, and then your factory hardware right there for the intake manifold will actually bolt up to those holes there like normal. The reason why you have to cut that edge off, or that corner off down there, hang on, let me focus there. is because it'll interfere with your...
You won't be able to line it up.
Yeah, you won't be able to line it up because of this bracketry right there on the side.
You just have to shave.
Is that a shave?
Yep, you just shave this side of it. And we'll just take it little by little and then slowly
keep going back and forth, making sure that it'll fit. So I guess you don't necessarily have to cut it off, do you?
Yeah. So you don't want to cut off this entire thing, because if you cut off the entire thing, this is the bracket right here, and it has to grab the side of this because it's going to go into these two holes right here.
Yeah. You will have to make some modification to your intake manifold to make it work. So we're going to try to spare cutting this off entirely, but
yeah, you see this bracket right here, not drop any of the washers, but this bracket will hold on to this plastic nub that's sticking out after we shave about this much of the corner off of it, and then this will fit over that, and that'll be right here.
So I also got everything kind of laid out right now, besides the besides the controller box for the X fuel. The hose that comes with it, or the fuel line that comes with it, right here. So you notice that these threads are kind of exposed. It's going to be metal on metal in there, so you would want to put Teflon tape on the end of this.
But we don't use Teflon tape around here, we use thread sealant.
Yeah, you can use thread sealant as well. It works the same way.
Much better.
Yeah, you put it on the threads, and then you thread it on there, and it should seal it off. Same thing with this end here on the other side of it, and we should be good to go. We're just gonna get it done.
We had to trim a lot of plastic out of here, and we also cut a chunk of the metal off. It's right over here, maybe. Yeah, I guess not too much, but just a little sliver off of there, just to get it to work and fit in there. But now she fits in there after test fit 975. Boom. Bow.
Sweet. And while he was working on that, I went ahead and started to work on taking this off, which I did. I took off the the gauge cluster up there. It's really easy, just pull up on it, comes right up and out of there. It sounds like it's gonna break, it's not. So the reason why I pulled that off initially is because Justin already pre-drilled a hole for the LED for the Guardian Angel, and I practically swapped it over, his gauge cluster over to my car, which is right here, and his gauge cluster, or my gauge cluster, went into his car. So yeah, we're doing that. I also have the ethanol content sensor kit, or gauge, here. I have to route the wires through the passenger side well over here, and where that goes, where that goes is it actually pops out right back here. That's a big old grommet, so you just stick the hanger through the other side and grab, or put your wires and everything there and pull it on through. So we're gonna install everything back on. As you saw, we shaved off a bit off of the left hand side of the intake, and the passenger side of the intake. After that, once you've done that, it's basically reverse order. Besides, you don't have to do the fifth bolt on the left hand side or passenger side of the intake manifold. That one is omitted. You don't have to put that one back because there's no hole you can put it into. Instead, you have a bracket piece on the left hand side, bracket piece right there, and that'll fit the intake manifold on the other in between.
Yeah, it'll be on the inside like
Yeah,
that.
on the inside, just like that. All right, so Justin just finished installing the aux rail on, and so you see how the 5th bolt is not required. The bracket is actually holding the plastic little lip that pops out on the intake manifold. The 4-port is on, it's installed, so we're gonna have to work on wiring. The box is that way, over there. I put it back in the box. So the box is in the box, the controller. And we're gonna have to wire it all up first, run the fuel lines as well to the aux rail. This is a stratified rail. So if you want one, I'm gonna link it down below. The stratified auxiliary 4-port is here. This has been painted before I got it. This is actually a used one, but the stratified is actually under there. You can kind of see it in the camera. It says stratified there.
So I took over Nick's camera. He's over here playing around, dancing around. Woo! So we got this fuel line connected to the 4-port aux fuel rail. And then we went ahead and connected this little box here, and this is what connects in between the fuel line back in here. You'll see I have that quick disconnect tool already connected there, and you pull up on this and separate this fuel line here, and then this box right here sits in line with that. So the top fuel line connects right here, and then the bottom side of that fuel line fits into here, and that's how the fuel rail is supplied with fuel. His is going to look a little bit different because we are installing this Zetronics ethanol content sensor, gauge,
Coming down.
sensor, everything, all the above. Coming down?
Going down.
All right. Oh, it's not zooming. Oh, there you go. Focusing, I meant. Coming down.
Focus.
So things are going to look a little bit different on his since we are putting this sensor kit in line with the fuel rail.
Justin went ahead and disconnected the fuel line. It's down here. Focus, please.
Did you just catch me on camera vaping?
No. So that's the bottom of it. The top is over there hanging out next to it. So you use the tool set. So we use the blue one in this toolkit to disconnect that fuel line. It's really easy. All you gotta do is push up on the tabs as well as pushing up on the hose, and then it should just come away really easily. So we pulled the car in. It was a little too far back, so we pulled the car into the garage. It actually started and moved with just everything back there connected without the intake tube. So contrary to popular belief, yes, you can start it and actually move the car forward. Yeah, so we got the fuel lines and everything hooked up. So the ethanol content sensor is here. The fuel lines are connected back there. You can't really see it. We're going to tuck it away nicely. And here's the fuel hoses that go to the fuel rail. So all this is pressurized. We basically did a fuel leak check, and there is no fuel coming out, so we're all good to go on that. We just got to run the wires through for the content sensor as well as the controller for the aux fuel rail, and then after that we should be good to go on that and connect everything back there. And you can actually see that is still disconnected. We're going to reconnect that later. But yeah, where we're going now?
It's Zaxby's.
Yes.
Food.
Food. Oh, it sounds so good. I'm so glad that she's back running again.
that and it's done. I sat here all day.
Yeah.
I didn't do a thing.
Wait.
That was all you. And a unicorn.
So we got the 4-port aux in. It's all in there. It's all wired up pretty much. So tomorrow we're going to continue to do some more wiring. As you can see here, we got some more wiring to do. But this is for this one is for the ethanol content sensor, and then this one's for the Guardian Angel. We're just going to route it through the grommet on the side, as you saw. But it's been quite a day. I drove up and we pretty much started working, so...
We knocked this out in about, what, 4 or 5 hours?
4 or 5 hours, yeah.
Like actual work. It's not too bad.
Not too bad. It was quick.
The longest part was grinding that stupid intake manifold down.
Yeah. That was the tricky part. I think if you had proper cutting tools, probably like either a bandsaw or like a Dremel or something like that, then it would be really easy. All you
Or an angle grinder.
Or an angle grinder.
Just tear it right through. Yep.
But yeah, so that's about it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that like button. Also hit that subscribe. Also share with your buddies. That's pretty much it. That's Nobody's channel will be down below as well as up here, and also at the end of the video. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. See you guys next episode.
Peace.